I'd like to take a to talk about some webinar knowledge with you. One item of note is that you will see that you won't have your video or your microphones turned on for the entirety of the event. So if you wave or say something and you don't get a wave back, it's because we can't see or hear you, but please don't take offense. We're super excited that you're here. Every session will end with a live Q&A with our session hosts and our panelists joining. Please submit your questions with our Q&A feature at the bottom of your screen. We will try and answer as many questions as we have time for at the end of each session. Before I get started, I wanted to extend a special thanks to SC Future Makers Partners, the South Carolina Department of Commerce, and the Council on Competitiveness for making today's event possible. All right, it's about time to get started. We're going to take a quick break and show some videos, and then our first session starts right at 9:15 with Thompson Construction.
I want to be a biomedical engineer.
I want to be a lead engineer in the aerospace defense industry.
And that's why I use Tallo.
On Tallo, I can find internships,
Scholarships, the college of my dreams,
the company I've always wanted to work for.
On Tallo, I found confidence,
direction, and opportunity. On Tallo, I found a path to my dreams.
My name is Pierre LaBroche. I'm a freshman at Stanford University. I plan to major in computer science and mechanical engineering and aspire to be a robotics engineer once I graduate.
Hi, my name is Ayush Saha. I'm currently at age 18 studying computer engineering at UC Davis, and my future goal is to become a computational neuroscientist.
My name is Leah, and I'm currently a freshman here at Williams College. While I was a senior in high school, I would regularly go on Tallo to find scholarships, and I actually got a couple of them.
Tallo also has a nice feature of allowing you to connect really nicely with scholarships and colleges that are interested in you, or allow you to reach out to them. Through messages, these schools and scholarships can directly contact you, and you get a notification about it through email, and you'll be able to apply to them and respond back to them. I chose to use Tallo because of the format of the Tallo website. It had a profile that you can create that was able to house and serve as a location for all your accomplishments, activities, and honors in one location, which allowed you to seamlessly transfer over to a resume. And these resumes that I was able to use because of Tallo was used heavily in a lot of scholarships and colleges I applied to, one of them being the Gates Scholarship. The resume I created from Tallo also allowed me to have talking points that I used to jump off of during these interviews.
So I found this event in Tallo called the STEM Signing Day, and I applied for it, and I was accepted as an honoree. That event was affiliated with Boeing. Soon afterward, I was accepted into the Boeing mentorship program for undergraduate freshmen. I had the chance to connect with dozens of software engineers from Boeing and learn about technical skills and about real-world practical projects being done by Boeing. I was also awarded a scholarship for my efforts connecting with the Boeing engineers.
I initially started using Tallo as a method to find scholarships for college, but once I got into college and didn't really need it for scholarships anymore, it continued to prove incredibly useful. Now I've actually secured an internship because of information that I found on Tallo.
Tallo also allowed me to gain more confidence in my writing skills that I previously lacked right before I began university through a challenge called the Spotlight Challenge that had me create an article for the Tallo community. Through this challenge, I was able to practice my writing skills and become more at ease at sharing my writing with other people.
Tallo has made me confident in my career by showing me that corporate world dynamics and large companies are not just a faraway dream.
Once I got into college, I was able to actually work in New York City for a nonprofit because of an internship that I found on Tallo, and I continued to look at Tallo regularly, and I ended up securing another Another internship doing energy work for a pretty large energy company out here on the East Coast, which is going to be a really, really interesting introduction into a field of work that I really am interested in. So I've really used Tallo a lot, and it's been incredibly helpful in everything from applying to college, finding scholarships, finding internships, and other job opportunities. So thanks, Tallo.
All right, everyone. We are going to get started with our first session of the day. Today, we have Thompson Construction joining us this morning. And from Thompson Construction, we have Kimberly Rauschenbach. Good morning, Kimberly. How are you?
Good morning, Paige. I'm well. Thanks for the invitation.
Thanks for joining today, Kimberly. I'm going to let you take it away from here.
That's great. Thank you. Give me just a second. Let me grab my screen really quickly. We'll be ready to roll. All right. Paige, can you verify? Can you see my screen?
I can. Yep, it's your logo right in the middle.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And Paige, again, thank you for the warm welcome to all of our high school students joining us today. I am so excited to be able to kick off information about craft and trades in South Carolina for a couple of reasons. Number one, because I am in construction. Again, as Paige said earlier, I serve as the Director of Talent Development for a large construction group that is located right here in Sumter, South Carolina. But even more than that, I started my career in the trades. So when I was in high school, I was that kid that did not know exactly what I wanted to do whenever I graduated from high school. So four-year university, it just wasn't in the cards for me at that moment. I needed to learn a little bit more about myself. I also needed to make a little bit of money, and I wanted to be able to see the world. So I joined the craft as an electronics technician. So whenever I have a chance to share about how the craft changed my life, I love to have this opportunity because there might be some of you out there that aren't quite sure what your next step looks like whenever you graduate from high school. So I want to share with you some opportunities for jobs that could be waiting for you that provide a phenomenal wage. Some of the jobs I'm going to talk to you about today pay well over $100,000 a year. That's pretty amazing. And they give you an opportunity to see the world and come right on back to South Carolina where our roots are. So with that, I want to share a little information about our company. Again, I work for Thompson Construction Group, and we have, just give me 1 second. We have a very far-reaching workforce. So you'll notice over here in South Carolina, you'll see our little logo. That's in Sumter, South Carolina. That's where our headquarters are. But take a look at the places that we travel across the United States, not just here in CONUS, the continental United States, but we're also up in Alaska, we're in Oregon, we're in Utah, California, Texas, Florida. Those are some really great places to be. We're also all the way down in Puerto Rico, one of the government territories. But it's really exciting the type of work that we do that spreads us out all across the nation, but always brings us right home back here to our corporate headquarters in Sumter, South Carolina. So what do? It's pretty simple. We start first with commercial construction. There are probably about 5 different ways that we make our money in our organization. The first way is, again, in commercial construction. That's largely here in the state of South Carolina. We are one of the largest builders for education for K through 12, kindergarten through senior in high school education areas in the state of South Carolina. So we built Boiling Springs High School. We're also in advanced education, higher education. We're at the Citadel right now where we are rebuilding Capers Hall. And we're also at Clemson University. So that's part of what our commercial construction does, in addition to building things like car dealerships or hospitals. That's our commercial area. And again, that's largely located here in South Carolina. Another way that we earn our money is by building industrial facilities. So you'll see us go out into chemical plants and steel mills, and we'll do what's called a greenfield build, which means that you simply take a green field with nothing on it, and you watch this amazing industrial plant come out of the ground. And you know that whenever you leave that area, you've left it economically improved because there are going to be so many jobs available because of the building that you built. So that's really exciting, but that's our industrial construction. So again, that's largely chemicals and manufacturing facilities that we'll build. The third space that we focus is on power producing facilities. So we've gone and helped with nuclear facilities, we've gone into coal, into natural gas, and there are a couple of areas where we're also exploring in green energy. We've recently partnered with another company we acquired another company, and we focus on hydroelectric energy. So we go into these dams that have been out of commission or maybe slow moving work, and we take the guts out of the inside of them and rebuild them and create efficiencies in the energy sector. So that's another great area where the trades are making a powerful impact, not just on South Carolina, but on the world around us as well. And we also focus on residential building, but you won't see us whenever you're driving down the road. You won't see us at any of the big builders here in South Carolina because we focus on what we call disaster recovery. So we have been in Texas after some hurricanes hit the coast of Texas. We went out there and we rebuilt homes for folks that were socioeconomically disadvantaged. But our big contract right now is in Puerto Rico, where we go out and we look at the houses that were hurt during Hurricane Maria that devastated that island about 5 years ago. And we go look at the homes that are out there and we decide, do they need to be rebuilt? Do they need to be remodeled, or do we need to move them into a new location? And we wouldn't be able to provide the housing for those folks in Puerto Rico if it weren't for people in the skilled labor and the craft trade industry. So all of those are making a phenomenal difference in the world around us. And finally, another area where we make our money in construction and maintenance is maintenance. So we go into areas, those industrial facilities that we build, we love to go in and we love to keep those up. So we are up at Philip Morris, which is a tobacco facility up in Richmond, Virginia. But another area where we're really well known for is being at Boeing here in Charleston, South Carolina, where they're producing the Dreamliner. So as they're building that aircraft, they have to move it in and out of all of the different bays, but they have to keep it away from the sunshine because it's a part of the process. So they have huge garage doors that we maintain so that they can keep those doors up and down whenever they need to move those aircraft on the production line. So those are all really cool things that craft technicians across our organization are doing to add value, not just in the state of South Carolina, but of course across our nation. So we do a lot of really diverse work, and you'll see some pictures here that encapsulate the type of work that we do. You'll see a maintenance technician, you'll see a greenfield build that's occurring in that bottom right, and you'll see some folks that are working up on the top right. And so I want to give you just a quick synopsis of how valuable the work we do is to the economy. So I'm going to show you, our company was founded in 1986 by a man named Greg Thompson. So he recruited his brother, and the two of them borrowed $1,000, and they launched their first company that evolved over time into this very large company. So present day, we employ more than 2,700 craft team members. And out of all of the work that we're doing, we went from $1,000 in the hole in 1986 to last year when we closed out our books, we had brought in over $750 million. We're a really successful company, and we are glad for the work that we do because we see the positive impact to the economies that we're touching. But beyond that, so look at that $750 million. That's revenue. Don't confuse that with profit. So profit is simply the amount of money that you have coming in revenue, then your expenses, and you subtract that and you have profit. And of course, we take a little bit for ourselves. If you're in business to make money, right? But we reinvest that money back into our business so that we can improve the quality of the work that we do. We buy new safety equipment so we can keep our team members safe as they perform high-risk tasks. But we take a lot of that money and we also reinvest it in our community. So we're incredibly philanthropic. The community involvement that we have, you'll see it listed on the screen on the bottom left side. And if you take a look, you'll recognize that the majority of those investments are in education opportunities. So we love Ben Carson reading rooms. We believe that readers are leaders. We are investing in the Easting Festival here every summer, or excuse me, every fall in Sumter, South Carolina. We bring a bunch of STEAM, science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics folks, and we bring them downtown and we set up booths and share about what we're learning and jobs that are available. So our company is a huge supporter of this. And it's not just because we love education, because it's the right thing to do. It is the right thing to do. But we also love education because we want to touch the folks that are going to enter into the workforce one day and share with them about jobs that are going to be available for them that they might not would have considered. So, and when we look at the different crafts, most people tend to think, and I was one of them when I was younger, most people tend to think that whenever you're in a craft position that you're making minimum wage, and that simply is not true. So if you walk away knowing anything today from the time that we spend together, I want you to understand that there are some great high-paying jobs available. If you love to problem solve, work with your hands, if you enjoy being outdoors and sometimes indoors, there's a job out there that could be waiting for you. So take a look at the screen. I know those numbers are big. This is the annual average salary, the annual average wages for a craft member in this position across the United States. So again, this is an average. What you don't see is overtime that's associated with it. So this is a 40-hour work week. This is what the folks can expect to be paid. So on top of that, if you're traveling to one of those locations, say Puerto Rico or Alaska or Texas or Florida or Alabama or Tennessee for one of our jobs, then we also pay what's called per diem. And per diem is the money that's used for basic lodging, food, essentials while you're away from work. We pay $100 per day generally for our craft team members for per diem, and that money is tax-free. So in addition, if you're working at in a distance and in another geographical area, and you're making, let's say that you're a mobile crane operator, up here in the top right, you'll see that that's just under $74,000 a year. Add in that extra money for the per diem, that's about $25,000 a year and some overtime, and you are well over 6 digits on income. That is not too shabby. And the crazy thing is that that is considered a craft level position. So if you move into a leadership position, or if you continue to move up the ladder, the wages tend to move up with it. So you'll see over here on the right side of the screen, this is just a basic entry of what it looks like for career progression in construction and in maintenance. But I don't want you to think so small here, because again, I started out as a craft team member and I moved into HR. There are other spaces that our craft team members can move into for a flourishing career. You can move into quality, where we inspect the work that's completed by our craft team members. You could move into safety, where you oversee to make sure that production doesn't get in the way of making sure that we're taking great care of our team members. So these are all entry positions into a career that could be as diverse as you would like for it to go. But let's talk about what it takes to get into the craft to begin with. It is not one of those jobs where you wake up, you roll out of bed, and then you decide that you're going to go and be an electrician. That's not how it works. But there are 4 unique pathways to help you become prepared for that job that is waiting for you. The first is an apprenticeship. And we have both youth apprenticeships and adult apprenticeships in the state of South Carolina. So an apprenticeship is simply on-the-job training while you're going to school. And we offer what's called a scalable wage. We start you off on kind of close to the bottom of the pay scale because you're learning, but as you continue to add value in the organization and it's based off of how much you know, then your wages continue to rise. So that's an apprenticeship program. There's also career and tech educations, which is your CATE centers, often across the state of South Carolina, associated with those high schools. So if you're interested in learning a skilled trade, you can talk to your guidance counselor, your career counselor, your parents, your teachers, other organizations that are out there. And we would love to work with young folks to show them pathways on getting into the craft careers. Then there's also your community and technical colleges. Most of those 2-year programs offer specific licenses or degrees that prepare you in a much more technical way. And then finally, there's that 4th option, which is a 4-year traditional university. So those are the 4 basic entryways into a craft career. So as we begin to close out, I want to share with you a couple of jobs that we know will be waiting for you whenever you are ready to join the workforce. The first one we'll talk about, everyone knows, right? It's a welder. And a welder's average annual salary is around $75,000. Remember, if you're working 250 days a year and you're working distance, go ahead and add that 25,000 tax-free money into that, and you're well over $100,000 a year as a welder. You can't just come in off the streets to be a welder. Instead, we'd love for you to join those apprenticeship programs, join your career and technology centers, and go ahead and start getting that education. We're going to test you whenever you decide to come in to become a welder. We're going to come out, we're going to set up a station for you, and we're going to let you do a little bit of welding and show us what you've got, and then we're going to scale those wages according to the work that you can perform. And working with a welder is often the other side that people don't know as much about, and this is called a pipe fitter. The pipe fitter is the person who measures, looks at the diagram, makes those cuts, and sets up all of the pieces of metal that are going to be welded together. That's the pipe fitter. So maybe you don't want to spend all of your time under a hood looking at that light. Maybe instead you are great at math and you want to be able to figure out these really complex angles. Then a pipe fitter may be a good position for you. Again, they're just under $70,000 a year. Add that per diem and some overtime. And again, you're easily into the 6 digits for a pipe fitter who is really good at what they do. Again, the entry level for that, you're going to take a test to make sure that you know how to put those pipes together, put those pieces of metal together and fit them appropriately. But you do not have to have a license or a certification. You simply have to know the craft. And there's lots of ways that you can learn it, whether you're in an apprenticeship program or whether you have pursued formal education. And the next thing is a carpenter. Most people think carpenter and they're thinking cabinets, right? But our industrial carpenters do a heck of a lot more than just build not simple cabinets. They can be very complex too, but our industrial carpenters are more than just carpenters. They're often out tying rebar. We use them in what's called the civil site work. And the civil work is simply where we go and prepare the ground for the building to come out of it. So there's a lot of preparation that takes place. And our industrial carpenters are leading at the forefront, making sure that our forms are built properly and that the rebar is situated so that it can support the growth out of the ground. Again, there's no formal education required for our industrial carpenters. It's based off of what you know and what you can do. But you can learn those skills in an apprenticeship program at your career and technology center, and then also in technical colleges. Then we move over. Once the concrete has been poured, we need what's called concrete finishers. These are the people who are coming out and making sure that the concrete is poured correctly, that it is prepared correctly, and that it's ready to have the machinery that's going to be set on top of it. Again, they're making just under $60,000 a year. And again, it's based off of what you know in this trade. So an apprenticeship and a formal program through a technical college or your career and technology center is the way to go for some of these craft careers. And finally, we don't want to leave out the folks that are interested in a 4-year university, because honestly, there are careers in construction and craft and maintenance that are available to lots of different education levels. So if you're interested in a 4-year university, pursue civil engineering. There's a great need for engineers right now. You can expect to make just under $100,000 a year. Again, go ahead and add that per diem and add in some overtime and then some bonuses that are available to you. You need a bachelor's degree to be able to enter as a civil engineer, or a master's degree. And if you spend enough time in a craft trade and you want to pursue some engineering work, then there's also a certification that you can earn that's called the project management certification. So while the engineering sector is often filled with college graduates, there is also a chance for our craft team members to move into the engineering, the field engineering positions that are available in our organization. So those are some quick synopsises of jobs that could be ready for you whenever you're ready to enter the workforce. And finally, if you're interested in pursuing more information about those jobs that are waiting, I would love for you to go to NCCER, which stands for the National Center of Construction, Education, and Research. They have a phenomenal website called Build Your Future, BYF. And I've put the QR code up here. So if you're interested in evaluating all of the different craft careers that are available, use that QR code. And I suggest that you go ahead and take that Craft Pro quiz. And then of course on the right, if you've already have the skills and you're ready to come to work and you'd like to work with us, we'd love for you to pursue, check out the jobs that are available there. And I'm grateful for your time. Page is popping up, so I'm assuming that my time is probably coming to a close. But if you are truly interested in careers and craft, again, reach out to your parents, have that conversation with your parents, have that conversation with your career and your guidance counselors, and then look for a local company that is doing the work that you think you're interested in and call them. I'm sure that they would be incredibly receptive to having a conversation with you. So thank you for your time. Good luck.
Thank you so much, Kimberly. That was a great presentation. Lots of useful information for the students and educators joining today. So we're going to go on a quick break from right now until 9:40, and then we will be back right at 9:40 with our next session, which is Blanchard Machinery. Thanks so much. All right, welcome back, everyone. We are going to be going into our second session of the day. Joining us today, we have Jason Nelson from Blanchard Machinery. Good morning, Jason. How are you?
I'm doing well. Good morning. How are you?
Good. Thanks so much for jumping on today. We're excited to have you.
Thank you very much.
We're going to let you take it away.
Okay.
And start your presentation.
Sounds good. Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Jason Nelson. I represent Blanchard Caterpillar, and I want to talk today about technician career development. My career started as a diesel technician, and just like I heard the other presenter say, most oftentimes when you think about diesel technicians or carpenters or welders, you think about people that don't make very much money, but that is simply not true. I started my journey as an entry-level technician for Blanchard Caterpillar, and I moved throughout our organization into a very high-paying career. And so what I want to do today is just talk with you more about what Blanchard Machinery does.
Since 1982, we've been built for it. Built for getting the job done across South Carolina and beyond. And at Blanchard, getting the job done means moving mountains and shaping dreams. It means hard work and working hard. It means setting higher standards is standard practice. At Blanchard, we're built to meet the demands for energy and infrastructure, for mining gold and supplying power, for fighting floods and combating fire. At Blanchard, we're built for all conditions, built to deliver solutions with strength and quality. At Blanchard, no challenge is too great and no customer too small. Built to deliver outstanding customer service, equipment management, technology solutions, and more. At Blanchard, we're built for 24/7 access, anytime, anywhere. From used parts to consignment programs, Blanchard has you covered. Whether you need rental equipment or repair services, we're ready to help you keep your machine on the go. At Blanchard, we don't sleep until the job is done. That's our commitment to you, driven by the need to move more, to build more, to be more. We are Blanchard, and we're built for it.
Our company has 5 values that are important to the success of our business. The first value that we share among our company is safety. We work in high-risk situations. We work in industries that have risks to them, but what we want to do is make sure everyone goes home at the end of the day as they came or better than they came to work. And so every one of our employees works and is in a safe environment. It's our number one value. Anytime you go anywhere in our organization, safety is the number one priority. Value 2 that we share among our company is integrity. We have the saying, do the right thing all the time. So no matter if that means that we have to absorb something, if we made a promise to our customers and to our communities, then we're going to keep that promise. Accountability is value 3. And when we talk about accountability, a lot of people think that you're not going to make a mistake, or if you make a mistake, you're going to get fired. At Blanchard, we want to promote a different environment, that if you make a mistake, just raise your hand and say you made a mistake, and let's work through that. But we want everyone to be accountable. Fourth is communication. In the day and time we live in, communication should be very easy. but we find so often that it's very hard to communicate effectively. And we try at our organization to communicate openly, timely, very transparent with everyone that we're involved in. And then last is collaboration. We always like the team environment, working together with our partners, our customers, our employees to make South Carolina a better place. Our mission is building, powering, and shaping a better tomorrow. That's our vision. Our mission is Blanchard Machinery is a company that values driven success, bringing the best talent, products, and solutions to any experience that we have. We are the dependable partner for those in South Carolina. And when we talk about that, Blanchard Machinery supports almost every major infrastructure project and business in South Carolina, whether that be by earth moving, whether that means supplying a generator or standby technicians to a hospital during a storm, road paving. But no matter the business or the organization, usually Blanchard Machinery is involved in that partnership some type of way. The Blanchard Machinery family is 40 years old. And so I won't spend a lot of time here, but in Blanchard, they came in 1982 to our great state. And in 2022, Boyd Blanchard became our 4th generation president for our organization. I always share that to young people to think about who you're going to work for. We are a family-owned business. The Blanchards are heavily invested in the state of South Carolina, and that means something because they care about the well-being of the people, the state, the communities that we live in. And so when you work at Blanchard, you're not working from someone that's out of the country or even out of the state. You're working for somebody that's in our state and cares deeply about our communities and the lives that they create for our communities. Blanchard Machinery has 14 locations scattered throughout the state of South Carolina. We do that so that we are very localized to our communities that we work for and the people that we provide for. And so throughout our organization, we're less than 2 hours. You're usually only about an hour or two away from the closest Blanchard Caterpillar dealership in our state. And so our 2 newest stores are Seneca and Aiken. They opened this time this year. And recently it was announced that Blanchard Machinery will build a new main headquarters in Calhoun County, right off of I-26. And that is to come online in 2026, where it will create 30 new jobs and move 150 current employees to that location. What we do, we sell, service, and provide parts for all things Caterpillar. Not only do we have 14 locations, each of those 14 locations has unique business units that operate within that region. So for instance, we're widely known for all the machines that we provide. Caterpillar is the largest provider of earth moving equipment in the world. And yet that's one of our smallest business units. Throughout our state, we have all 14 locations have a machine division that work on the heavy equipment, those types of things. One of our largest divisions is our energy division, and our energy division provides backup power to hospitals and warehouses and data centers, water treatment facilities. We provide the backup power for those businesses in case the power grid fails. And so like during major hurricanes, our technicians are at hospitals and places that are critical to our well-being, ensuring that their generators are up and running, do not have power, so our power grid remains intact. We also have a marine division in Summerville that supports our ports and the pleasure craft throughout the coast. We have forestry, rental, and transportation. And so not only do we have diverse locations, we have diverse business units that allow our employees to grow and expand throughout the state and throughout the different business units of that our communities ask for. I want to talk to you specifically today about technician career paths, diesel technician career paths. We don't understand truly how wide and how much that diesel technology and engines affect our everyday life. When you're passing a truck that's delivering goods to a grocery store, a diesel engine is taking you there. When you see the road construction that's taking place up along our highways, that's a diesel engine and heavy equipment technology that's supporting that. And so Blanchard Machinery has really one career path right now, but one apprenticeship program that we're currently building to bring online next year. We have the first one is our Think Big program. We have two models of what we call Think Big. Think Big is an associate's degree program that's offered at two different colleges. The first is Florence Darlington Technical College in Florence. This houses our machine program, and you learn a different set of skills there. The other program is South Georgia Technical College. And students that go to South Georgia Technical College go there to learn electric power generation so that we can support our standby power units. Florence Darlington Tech, where our machine program is housed, is a 2-year program. And when you graduate from Florence Darlington Tech, you receive an associate's degree of applied science. The 2-year program has an 8-week school rotation and an 8-week paid internship experience. And so what we do is we interview students for this program. If they're accepted to the program, they go to school for 8 weeks at Florence Darlington, and then they go back to their localized branches where they're from, and they work on an 8-week paid internship. And so we take what they learn in school and we apply that on the job during a paid internship experience. And they do that throughout the 2 years. And after the student graduates from the 2-year program, then they automatically become full-time employees of our dealership. And so that's great because when you graduate, you don't have to go look for a job. You already have a job waiting on you. And so we're very proud of this program and how it works. And the classes that you'll learn during this program are diesel engine fundamentals, fuel systems, electrical. You know, a lot of people think, you know, as a diesel technician, you're going to be all greasy and dirty all the time. And that's not necessarily the case. Some of our machines are very, very complex in their electrical systems, and they have, you know, 9 to 13 computers and transmission lines on them where those systems can communicate. So in our day, electrical work is very, very sophisticated. We're seeing hybrid machines come online where it's not the traditional diesel engine and transmission and those types of things. We're seeing machines that are coming with a diesel engine and a backup or power generator that's driving electrical motors. And so that's what we're calling our hybrid technology. And so electronics and electrical in our world today is very, very needed in our world. You also learn about hydraulics and powertrain, air conditioning work, as well as you'll take math, English, history, and economics through that program. Our next slide, and I apologize about the error, that's supposed to be South Georgia Technical College, focuses on electrical power generation. It works much in the same way. There's an 8-week school rotation, 8-week paid internship experience through our dealership. There you learn engines, fuel systems, industrial motors, alternating current, generators, EPG calculations. But when students go through these two programs, at the end of the day, when they graduate, you graduate on a Thursday night. The next Monday morning, you're at our organization in new employee orientation for full-time employee, and all your benefits, health insurance, PTO, profit sharing begin that day, that Monday after you graduate from the program. For students that go through this program, we offer approximately $6,000 in Snap-on tools when they begin their internship experience with us. If a student stays with us for 3 years after they graduate, then those tools are given to them for $50, and those are to cover the taxes on the toolbox. We offer tuition reimbursement after completion. For every year that you stay with us, after you graduate, we reimburse any out-of-pocket tuition expense that you have for these two programs. And so, you know, think about that when you're making a career choice. When you make these career choices, we're going to reimburse back to you. And that means that you can be debt-free from college experience in a matter of 3 years after graduation. During the program, we offer you mentorship experiences where you work alongside some of our most seasoned diesel technicians to learn and grow and develop and really become your own your own person within our organization. Part of your full-time employment package is paid time off. To start with 3 weeks paid time off. Our insurance, we all offer all the major insurance coverages. You're enrolled in a profit sharing program, and we also have 401k and just a tremendous amount of benefits to work for Blanchard Machinery. If you're interested in this program, I want to reach out. These are my email address, and that's my cell phone or my office phone and email address. You can feel free to please contact us. You can go to our Blanchard Machinery website, visit our careers page there, and it lists all of the opportunities that are there for our organization. So thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you so much, Jason. If anybody has questions for Jason, we do have a couple more minutes, so you can put them in the Q&A now. Jason, I know you have said so many great things about working at Blanchard today, but I wanted to ask, what's your favorite part about working there personally?
So my favorite part is just the people. You know, it's a large corporation, and one thing I forgot to mention, when you talk about annual sales, you know, our annual sales and gross profit, or our annual sales, are around $600 million in sales each year. And it seems like a large corporation, but we want to keep it that family-oriented business. And so, you know, I see the Blanchard family on almost an everyday basis. When I talk to my partners and the people I work with and for, they're like my family. And so that's just a tremendous benefit to me to know that I have support and growth opportunities within Blanchard. So thank you very much for that question.
Yeah. All right. We had one come in the Q&A
Okay.
that asks, what are some of the steps that you took to get to your position?
Okay. So like I said, I started as a diesel technician, entry-level diesel technician. After I got there, worked hard, did some training, they promoted me to a field service technician, where I wasn't in the shop. I would actually go out into our communities and the places we live where machines were broke down, and I would repair those machines. After that, I took the step to become a supervisor, and then a store manager. And then after that, I took an opportunity to go teach for a little while in the Think Big program, and have just recently come back to recruit technicians, develop more career paths for our technicians, and those types of things. And so it was a long journey, a lot of hard work, but it got me to where I'm at today. So yes, thank you very much.
All right. So the next question is the internship/mentorship program competitive? Are there only certain number of spots available?
There are a certain number of spots available. The spots depend on, first, our business needs for that upcoming year. And so you know, we base how many students we're going to put into the program on that, on our business needs. And then secondly, we are partnered with Carolina Cat, Greg Poole, and so they have a number of slots in the program as well. So yes, there are a limited amount of spots, but our number is based on our business need. This year, we'll put 13 people in the program in Florence, Darlington, and 2 students will go to our EPG program in South Georgia. That is why we are bringing on our apprenticeship program next year, is so that the students that don't necessarily go to that program, they still have an opportunity within Blanchard to come in as an apprentice technician, and we can capture some of those students because of the growth that we expect over the next 2 years.
That's great. Well, everyone keep a lookout for that apprenticeship program that's going to be launching next year. That would definitely be something great to get involved in. So we are right at time today, so we can wrap things up. Thank you so much, Jason, for joining and helping share the information about Blanchard Cat. It was really great. Everyone joining, we're going to take another quick 5-minute break, and we'll be back with our next session.
Thank you so much.
All right, everyone, we are going to be jumping into our next session with the Building Talent Foundation. We're going to start things off in just a second. Reminder to attendees, you can use the Q&A to ask questions during the presentation that we will do our best to get through at the end. Joining us today, we have Doug and Brenda. Good morning, Doug and Brenda. Thanks so much for jumping on today.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having us today.
All right. Well, we're going to let you go ahead and take it away and start your presentation.
Wonderful. Good morning. My name is Brenda Kennedy. I'm with Building Talent Foundation. I'm the engagement manager in the Charleston, South Carolina marketplace. Doug is going to tell you a little bit about more about our organization, but I want to at least say hello and let you know that we cover in Charleston. My market that I cover is everything from Somerville down to Hollywood, Ravenel, Mount Pleasant. And we have multiple opportunities in residential construction, entry-level training programs where if you don't have any experience at all in construction, but it's an interest to you and you'd like to get involved and have a career in residential construction, then you can give me a call. Doug will post our contact information here after he gives a presentation on Building Talent Foundation, but I just wanted to say hello and thank you all for your participation today.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for the opportunity to introduce Building Talent Foundation to you and to share some information with you all about the different careers in construction. The first thing I think I'd like to do is I'd like to share my screen with you, and we'll start off with a very brief video if I can figure out how to pull this up. Let's see here. Maybe not. I don't think I can do that. But anyway, what I wanted to do is just share a few thoughts with you real quickly, and hopefully it motivates you all to consider and think about the various careers in construction. We are a nonprofit organization, and we are funded and founded 3 years ago by the leading builders of America. That's the 20 largest residential home builders in the country. Names like D.R. Horton and Lennar and Beazer and Pulte and Toll Brothers and KB Homes and Taylor Morris and many others. They recognized several years ago that there was a tremendous shortage in the construction workforce area. And so they created our foundation to help alleviate that problem. And there are 19 engagement managers like myself and like Brenda. I'm in the Myrtle Beach area. Brenda's, as she said, is in Charleston. And we covered the entire country, all the way out to San Diego, from Miami, Florida, all the way out to San Diego. And we are growing rapidly. We work with all the various trades, everything to do with residential home building. We work with them, everything from site work to the roofing systems and everything in between. So we are here to help share with you a few of the ideas and a few of the career path opportunities that you can consider and you can think about. The great thing about the construction industry is that many of the opportunities that we work with require little to no college education. It requires very little in college debt. And yet many of the opportunities, many of the careers that you can start out in construction will start you out at incomes of $30,000 to $35,000 with no experience. There's plenty of opportunities that provide hands-on training. And we are also here to help you if you do pick a career that does require some additional educational or advanced education. We're here to help guide you through that, to those programs, such as plumbing or electrical or HVAC, okay? The income and earning potentials in residential construction is enormous. And I'll give you a quick example. When I started, I'm giving away my age here, but when I started in construction, I was 14 years old and I was making $3 an hour. And by the time I was 25 years old, I was a construction superintendent and I was making $45,000 a year. So what took me 10 years to earn, many people, many of you can start out making that same money in the very beginning. So, and again, you can do many of these careers without any college education. Right now, across America, there is 400,000 open jobs in America in construction. 400,000. It is estimated that that by 2031, 40% of the existing construction workforce is due to retire. Now, if there's already 400,000 openings and we're only 8 years away, and this does happen, what do you think the 400,000 jobs is going to do? It's going to expand. It's going to expand dramatically. Many of the careers, as I mentioned to you, in construction and residential home building, do not require a college degree. You can start in them now, start earning $30,000 to $50,000, and you can grow to be as high as you want. Now, there's different career paths. You can stay in a corporate level. You could work directly in the trade level, or you can become an entrepreneur. There are people in the construction industry that within 10 years of starting or picking a trade, they become their own contractor. They become their own entrepreneur, their own business owner, and they have people working for them. There's many ways to do this. And again, no college degree is required. Speaking about college, 65% of all college graduates are working in the field that they went to school in. That means 35% of the college graduates still have a debt of $30,000 to $50,000 and are not working in the area that they went to school for. Here, you can not only pick one trade, but you can do 2 trades or 3 trades, and you can do this and expand over time. Many people do that. Electricians, plumbers, and HVAC individuals, they do all 3 trades. We have trades right now, just for an example, in HVAC, where you can go to advanced training at one of our technical schools for 9 months, and you can come out earning as an HVAC technician. You can come out earning anywhere between $45,000 and $50,000 first year. By your 3rd year, you could be making anywhere between $70,000 to $80,000, and by your 5th year, you can be making over $100,000 as a service technician. Many, many trades are the very same way. You can spend the same 4 or 5 years accumulating $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 in debt in school, going to college and learning a trade. And when you come out, you'll be earning $50,000 to $55,000 first year. That's what college graduates earn in most cases. So there's a lot of different ways to think about it. You can start earning right away, earning good money, and start building a career with plenty of on-the-job training. Or you can go to college route. Now, college is a great thing. We do need our lawyers and our doctors and our engineers, okay? But when you think about it, when your house needs a new roof, do your parents call the financial planner? Do they call their doctor? No, they call the roofer. When the plumbing has a problem, you need a new water heater. Do they call their accountant? No. Do they call their stockbroker? No. They call a plumber. The greatest thing about construction is we can build the greatest satellites, we can build the greatest robots, we can have the greatest technology. But the one thing construction does is it cannot replace the human element. We need people. We need people to put in the HVAC systems, the plumbing systems, the electrical, the flooring, the cabinets, the siding, the walls, the framing, the roof systems, the irrigation systems, the concrete. People do this. People do it. This is not about a job. We don't talk about jobs. We talk about careers. And under the umbrella of construction, there are so many careers that you can pick. I'd be willing to challenge and bet everyone viewing today that you can find a passion in somewhere in the area of construction, whether it's architectural, whether it's engineering, whether it's mechanical, framing, carpentry. I challenge everyone to take a look and explore the opportunities in residential construction. I've been in construction for over 20 years, and I love it. I've always loved it. My family loves it. My brothers and my father were all in construction. And the greatest thing about construction is that once you learn one trade, there's nothing stopping you. You can go on to another trade and another trade and another trade. And eventually, if you have enough motivation, you could become your own contractor. And I'll give you an example. There's a young man that I know who's 58 years old. He falls into that 2031 category. He will be retiring. He came out of high school, no college, wanted to be a carpenter. He became a carpenter. He wasn't a very good one, but he made it his passion. Today, and for the last 20 years, he has been a general contractor. He's had his own company and his own business, and he will be retiring before he is 62. And for the last 18 years, he has made over $200,000 a year with a crew of about 15 people. His top superintendent is making $90,000. A superintendent. His top foreman is making $60,000. And they build houses, restaurants, barns, whatever needs to be built, they build it. And for all you girls out there listening and thinking about construction, and maybe that's not an opportunity for you, I'll give you an example. Young lady I know came out of high school, thought she wanted to go to college. She did. She didn't like it, so she quit. She got a job working for a general contractor as an assistant. And she was making somewhere in the neighborhood of about $25,000 a year. Well, she learned the business. The contractor said, if you become a project manager and I'll pay for it, I'll give you a raise. So she studied. Shortly thereafter, she passed her project manager's exam, became a project manager, immediately started making $50,000 overnight, $50,000 a year. She did that for a few years and got really good at it, enjoys it. She says, what else can I do? Well, she started studying and she got her real estate license. So now she's a project manager for a general contractor and she sells homes. Well, she likes that. She did that for a little while and she's doing pretty well at it. She says, what else can I do? She starts studying. Shortly thereafter, she got her general contractor's license. This young lady is now 31 years old, a project manager, a real estate broker, and she has her own general contractor's license. And she's still working for the same general contractor that she started out with. But now she's making over $90,000 a year. Girls, guys, it's a tremendous world out there, and there's so much to choose from in the world of construction. So many different avenues. How high do you want to go? I challenge you all to find your passion. Find a passion. Go after it. Nobody can stop you, and nobody's going to stand in your way. In 2031, many of you can already be well on your way to being your own entrepreneur, to be your own contractor, or to be climbing that ladder in the corporate structure, or becoming a master craftsman in whatever trade you choose. It's a huge world out there. I'd like to share with you just real quickly a couple of screens here. Let me see if I can do that with our contact information. And the best way to get started in what we're doing is go on our Jobs to Build platform. Jobs to Build, let me see if I can find it here. There's Brenda's contact information. Jobstobuild.com is our construction platform. Everyone can go on there. You can register and you can search jobs. You can search and explore all types of career opportunities in residential construction. And everyone is welcome to do that. It will also allow employers to seek out you. If you have an interest in plumbing or HVAC or electrical or carpentry or framing, any of the trades, there's opportunities there and contractors can find you. Okay. I hope everybody got Brenda's information. I'm going to put my information on there now. Let's see if I can do this, where you can reach me. And I am in the Myrtle Beach area. So any of the schools that are in the Williamsburg, Georgetown, Florence, or Horry County area, you're always welcome to reach out to me. And students that are in other areas of the upstate, if you plan on moving to the Charleston area or the Myrtle Beach area, reach out to us. You can reach out to me or to Brenda, and we'll be more than happy to help you at that time with any opportunities, okay, that you're interested in. I've enjoyed spending time with everyone here today. Again, please go on our jobstobuild.com site. You can explore the many different areas and avenues of construction, and we are always here to help you and answer any questions that you may have. Thank you so much, and we look forward to hearing from everyone.
Thanks so much, Doug. We have a couple questions for you that have come in the Q&A.
Sure.
So I'd love to ask you those. So the first one is, what is your best recommendation for someone who wants to get into construction?
Again, the best recommendation is to reach out to either myself or to Brenda. And that way we can have a chat and find out exactly what your interests are, whether it's painting or whether it's cabinetry or flooring. There's just so many different things to talk about. And another great way is to simply go on our Jobs to Build and explore all the different avenues. I mean, there's opportunities that you may not even think of. I have found it just in my area that as I've gone through and gone around to many of our schools, that the girls seem to gravitate towards the architectural side, and they're looking for and exploring opportunities in architectural drafting. The guys, they're more into the mechanicals, the plumbing, the HVACs. A lot of them are into the carpentry. We've got fabrication type opportunities for kitchen remodeling and all, just an enormous pool of opportunities out there that typically people don't think about. So yes, the best way is to reach out to us. This is all we do, is help people discover what's out there.
Next question is, what do you look for in someone wanting to pursue construction? So I guess is there any qualifications that you look for? Is there any, skills or anything you look for when you're looking to help someone get into the field?
Absolutely, yeah. We're looking for somebody who has an openness and willingness to learn. I'm 62 and I still learn. I'm learning things about construction every single day, and I've been doing it for over 20 plus years. It's an exciting world. We look for people that have an interest in learning. People that have ideally know how to read a tape measure. You have to have relatively good mathematical skills. Just ambition. We need people. We look for people that have a good work ethic, because you can make good money. You can do very, very well and be very, very successful in construction. However, you have to show up and do the job. It takes work and it takes skill. And there's nothing more rewarding, honestly and truthfully, than starting a project and you finish that project, and the next thing you know, you look back and you say, wow, I built this community. You load up your spouse, you load up your girlfriend, your kids, your family, your grandparents, and you take them for a drive and you say, you see that house? I did all the cabinets in that house. You see that house? I did all the roofing on these houses. You see these houses? I did all the HVAC systems. And the next thing you know, you're showing off your work. And they're seeing, and people are seeing what sort of lifestyle that you've created for yourself and what you're providing for your kids. And your kids will be very proud, and they'll want to follow in your footsteps. That is what construction's all about. And that's why we do it, because we love it. And the satisfaction and the gratitude that you get from it, and the satisfaction that you see other people enjoying your work. When you see families going in and out of the communities and living in and out of the houses that you've created, it's very, very rewarding. It's hard to imagine until you've done it, but it's great.
That's great. Thank you so much. So we are right at time. So thanks for all of that useful information, Doug. It has been a pleasure having you today. And
Thank
we
you.
are going to take a quick break, and we will be back right at 10:30 with our next session.
Thank you very much.
All right, everyone. We are going to get started with our next session today. Joining us today, we have Kim Lineberger Thomas from Lineberger Construction. Thank you so much for jumping on and joining us this morning. Kim, how are you?
Good. Good morning.
I'm great, thanks. We're so excited to have you, and we're going to let you take it away and start your session.
Thank you. Good morning. Just a quick, I am located in Lancaster, South Carolina. We're about 30 miles south of Charlotte and 30 miles north of Columbia, so right in the middle. We are a civil construction company. We do parking lots, highways, anything horizontal, not vertical construction. So what I'd like to do is share my screen with you and give you just a little bit about what we do. Let me see if I can get this going here. Okay, can everybody see that?
We can.
Okay. So just a little bit about what we're going to go over today is the company overview, and I have some videos that show you what we do, the different opportunities, and then our facilities and projects and ways that we can get students plugged in if they're ready to go into the construction. So LCI was founded on the principle of giving our customers the best quality of work at the most affordable price. We have approximately 100 to 150 pieces of equipment and right at almost 100 employees. We service the Catawba region of South Carolina, which is York, Lancaster, Fairfield, Chester, Chesterfield counties. So I want to share this video with you. It shows just a little bit about what we do.
It's not made for everybody. We do have to have a strong work ethic. I love seeing things go from blueprint to reality. Business. I went to school and got my degree in civil engineering and went to work for my dad's company. And then in 1995, I went on. Yes, we are a woman-owned construction business.
That's good. She's business savvy. She knows business. She's been in. She can tell you can hear everything that's goes on. It's like
Lineberger Construction, we do grading and paving and utilities. We build roads, streets, parking lots for government, municipality, for commercial contractors, all the way down to the personal driveways. We operate a fleet of 25 Mack dump trucks and haul for ourselves as well as other customers. People come to LCI for the quality of work. We're large enough for the complex projects, but still small enough for the personal touch.
if we're gonna do it, it's gonna be right.
We take pride in offering a full site work package from blueprint to completion. So we have our hands in the project from start to finish.
We're not kind of small, but you're not just a number here.
Our business is construction, but our business is also a people business. Our employees are like family here.
My job takes longer.
We know pretty much everybody on a first name basis.
So a good group of people.
We have a wide variety of people, all different personalities. Oh yeah, we have Jason here, two brothers and their sons.
This is my father James. This is my uncle Johnny. This is my cousin JB. Good group of guys. I had you laugh. They don't mind working on.
Daryl works on the paving crew. He's a very hard worker.
Always take pride in your work. I love the smell of the asphalt. Johnny McGee, he's one of my best drivers. Driving the truck, really, all I've done. I was like 16 years fresh out of high school, and sticking with it ever since. We call Daniel lineman around here. He walks 100 miles an hour. I move pretty quick. You can't just take your time because you usually got a crew or two behind you.
The benefits of working at LCI are competitive pay, growth and training opportunities, as well as being a part of a band. One of the things that our employees seem to like best about working here is that most of our jobs are within driving distance.
My favorite part of the job is
the difference between our truckers and over the road truckers is our guys are home every night to enjoy their families. The guys here enjoy working with the heavy equipment. You know, the saying is the difference between men and boys is the price of their toys. We have lots of toys here.
Your child, you know, you get these kind of trucks, and you get toys like that, you get to play out there and get dirt. Now they're grown in a bigger sense, you dig a bigger hole, like you keep going to the game store for the first time, you don't think you can have.
The best thing about a dump truck is it rides like a Cadillac. Sweet ride.
You know, we're always looking for good employees, and I think the key to that is to get the right people. One thing's for sure, you'll never get bored at LCI. There's always opportunities to learn and advance.
This stuff that we enhance, you know, it ain't no one, you know, so the chance.
We're able to grow because our seasoned employees take new employees under their wings and teach them things.
6 weeks ago.
For instance, Danny and Brandon. Danny's taking Brandon under his wing to teach him survey.
Yes, I do want to be like Daddy when I grow up, just a bit better, you know.
His is stable. We all use roads. The roads are not going away. We're all traveling, so there's always room.
I was seeing it, you run my job, so I did it. You know, that's the satisfaction I get. It's probably what's good. Get grandkids in the car, big ride. And then it did that with the high look. Got a good asphalt out there.
Yeah, I love working here. It is very fun to work here.
I plan to be here for till I retire. Feel the same place every day. Hey, know what I do?
The coolest thing about working here is watching things from beginning to end, seeing things that we built and being part of it. The opportunities at LCI are actually only limited by your own motivation and drive. The sky is the limit here. So that gives you just a little bit of idea of what we do. So going back and recapping a little bit, we do asphalt paving, grading, site work, utilities, full depth reclamation, and trucking. We do all those in-house. Our facility is in Lancaster. We moved to a new facility in 2017. These are just some of the sites inside our building, and we do our own repair work. So diesel mechanics, fabricating, welding, all of that happens in-house. Just to show you part of one of our projects, we'll go through this and let you see. This is a big project that we took on a couple of years ago. Montgomery Construction is excited to be a part of the improvement of the traffic around Buford campus here. It will improve the safety on 522 for the traveling public as well as the parents and the buses that are picking up the traffic.
Yeah, we're all just, they just need to be aware that we're going to have people here during the day while you're dropping off, while you're picking up for the next year. Construction funding. So be patient with us. We'll do everything we can to accommodate you. Just be So just to be able to adapt to space and we'll try to do the best we can to get it out without any interruptions.
Okay, the objective of our project here is to improve the safety on Rocky River Road. We'll get all the car traffic off of 522 and on Tabernacle Road. Bus traffic eventually will still be entering and exiting off the 522, but all of the car pickup will be off of Tabernacle. So there'll be plenty of storage area for pickups, for drop-offs. That way there's no backup on 522. So just a couple of more projects that we do. This was a huge building expansion that we did in Lancaster County for Nutramax Industries. And just to kind of let you know the detail that goes into a project that size, this particular map that you're looking at now is what we call a cut fill map. The red is cut. The redder the color, the more depth of cut, and the blue is fill. So that is a tool that is done in the office in our estimating to help so we can give a price. Everything is done so electronic now that we actually get a set of plans, blueprints like this, and we calculate earthwork and do all of the details inside. And then we actually build a model and feed that model into the equipment. So the surveying and the estimating is a huge part. These are some area projects that we've done. Let you take a look at that so you kind of know what is going on and how other things we do.
Safety issues and other information. So we usually get started. I get to my typical day starts with making sure all the people and equipment are in place for each job that we have running. I coach and guide and lead in any direction that I need to, and help schedule for the next day. You have to be a good multitasker and have good in-depth knowledge of all parts of road construction, the ability to quickly adapt to change. Anybody who's
And I'm the safety manager here at Lone Pepper Construction. And my goal is to make sure everyone goes home safely every day. In order to be able to do that, there's a number of things that we do. First of all, we do a lot of training. We do OSHA 10 classes, CPR first aid classes, we do specific training for the specific jobs that we have. Another thing that we do is we walk the job sites and do a checklist to make sure what they're doing at that particular moment is done correctly. And that helps keeps the guys safe. What should you be able to do in order to be a safety professional? I think the biggest thing would be a good communicator, and not just talking, but listening. You have to listen to the employees because they do these jobs every day. They can have a lot of input on how to do these jobs well and how to do these jobs safe. A lot of people I know that I can really make a difference in these employees' lives and to keep them safe. And for really back technology. Getting jobs, there's a lot of satisfaction on that we provided the right kind of training to they would make it in that flow. Hi, that's manager here at Lombard Construction. Usually starting the day off, checking on the other QC techs and making sure all the work's going. Some of the skills that you need to perform this job are excellent leadership and management skills. You have to be a great leader. To be able to perform this job fully, you have to have SCDOT certifications and I was called people I work with here. We all get along like family. It's also nice to be able to work local and be home with your family. Very space. Service manager, dispatcher, the truck manager, and a few other people. Needed.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and move along a little bit faster. If you could see all of the operations and the administration positions that we have here, and then this is a way for you to get enrolled in construction to help prepare you. And you can see the entry level and all of the positions. Here at Lineberger Construction, we actually do have a construction school that we help assist with operators and dump truck drivers. Just a little bit about, and then if you have any questions, I would be glad to answer those.
Thank you so much, Kim. It looks like we have a question that came in. We have a couple, but how do you advertise available positions? What would be the best way for a recent graduate to obtain an interview with your company?
On our website, they can look at our website, lci-lineberger.com. There is a place to put in an application right there on the website, or always call 803-286-5555 and ask for our HR department, and they'll take care of you.
Perfect. And then the last question before we quickly wrap up, are there any internships or externships available at your company?
Yes, they are. If anybody's interested in an apprenticeship or interns or externs, you can call our HR department at that same number. Debbie Baker will answer all your questions. But yes, we do have those opportunities.
Perfect. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining today. And we are going to have a quick break, and we'll be back at 10:55 with Be Pro, Be Proud. Thank you so much, Kim.
Thank you.
All right, everyone, we are going to be jumping into our next session of the day today. We have Be Pro, Be Proud SC joining us today, and Suzanne is going to be joining us from Be Pro, Be Proud. Good morning, Suzanne. How are you?
Good morning, Paige. I'm good.
Thank you so much for joining today. I'm
Oh,
going to
all
let you
right.
take it away.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. Okay, so I'm with Be Pro, Be Proud, and I'm not sure, I'm hoping that a lot of you know what Be Pro, Be Proud South Carolina is, but you may have seen our big blue truck driving all over the state, and maybe it's visited your school. Basically, what we do we've made it our project to introduce the skilled trades to the students of South Carolina. We say these are great options. Take a look for yourself, get hands-on with them, and let's do that. So what we do is I'd like to share our website with you, actually. So I'm going to go ahead and get to that. Can you see my website right now?
Yes, we can.
Okay, terrific. So basically, first, let's take a look at, that's what one of the trucks looks like. That's a red one that actually is in Arkansas, because Be Pro, Be Proud began in Arkansas and has been growing ever since. We're now in 5 states, soon to be 10. It's just growing like crazy. So this is an effort that is going nationwide to discuss just some of the great opportunities that are available to you immediately upon graduation from high school. Yes, some people will go to college. Yes, some of these can have wonderful career growth as you take maybe some college classes or get an associate's degree or whatever. But in general, these are all professions, as you've been hearing, that you can do right out of high school. So what I'd like to do is show you how we can assist you in this effort. So this is our website. This is the homepage of the website, and you can see all the tabs across the top. And I'd like to kind of take you through a little bit of what you can learn. Okay, so the first thing that you can learn is if you go to the professions tab. Okay, what you can learn is some of the in-demand fields right here in South Carolina that are going to have amazing growth opportunities and job opportunities for you as the years go by. One of the people that you heard from earlier was mentioning, it was either Jason or Doug, I believe they mentioned that that 40% of the people that are currently working in these positions are going to be retiring. And they're not wrong. There are a lot of fields in which you have people who will not be, they're in their mid 40s to 50s, and they're going to be retiring soon. And what we need to do is we need to be able to replace those people. Okay, so that's what's happening. And so now let's take a look at these different fields. So you've got things, automation and robotics. I think you can guess what that's about. But there are some things that you may not even understand what they are. So you've got the CAD, CAM, drafter, and right after that is the CNC operator. So what you want to do is you'd want to click on that and say, what is a CNC operator? And it'll give you a basic description of what it is. And there is a video that can accompany that. So you could click on that and watch the video. If this still doesn't explain it for you, you need to take the opportunity to Google it. Okay, really investigate what these fields are, because a CNC operator, it says, yes, it manufactures precision parts for a variety of products. What kind of products? You make parts for cars, trains, planes, boats, consumer electronics, construction. I mean, it's a very interesting field, and it is growing by leaps and bounds. And so you've got people on the high end who can make upwards of $100,000, and even the median, is a very solid number. And most of this does not require severely advanced degrees. You might need to get some on-the-job training, which means you're getting paid while you're getting trained, or maybe you take a few classes at tech school and then you get into it. But as you do your research, whether it's with the field in general or with specific companies, you'll find out what exactly you need to do. So look at the number right here, 20% job growth. So that means that people are going to be retiring and leaving so many jobs available that it's going to be, you're just going to be able to pick your place, right? If this is the kind of field you want to get into, it's interesting. It's never the same, and you can make a lot of great money. So that's just one of the fields. So you can see all the different professions that we highlight. Look, truck driving obviously is an in-demand field. Construction, you've been hearing about all morning. Diesel tech, electrician, heavy equipment, HVAC, you've been hearing about all of these all morning. Okay. So you can, for instance, let's go to truck driving. So as you view the profession and you see a little bit about the money and a little bit about the prospects. So now what do you want to do? You want to be able to find jobs, right? So let's see where that goes. Okay. This takes you to our jobs tab, which then tells you all of the various partners that we've got who are advertising truck driving positions. Okay. So it's, and they just go on and on. You got to get to the bottom of the page. You got to go to the next page. Oh, look, Lineberger Construction. So there we go. We just heard from Kim. So there's their job page, right? So now you scroll through the job page and they've got a very interesting job page. And then there's what she was speaking of, is that you can click on various things and you can apply right from there. So that's the kind of thing that you want to be doing, is taking a look at the various job opportunities that are out there. You also can find training for these things as well. So we have all sorts of training opportunities that we list. It's all the tech schools in South Carolina, in addition to some other schools out there. So for instance, Kim, I'm going to go back to Kim for a second with Lineberger. She mentioned that they've got the construction school. So if you were to look up the Carolina Construction School, you could see, okay, commercial truck driver, and it'll tell you a little bit about what it entails. And so a basic cost, here's the description of the class, and that'll give you a nice overview of what it might take. But say you say, well, I'm not sure I want to be a truck driver. I could drive the heavy equipment. That seems cool. And so here's a variety of options that they offer at their school, and it lets you know what you can expect. So we just try to help you do research into what you might be interested in doing. And the thing is that doing some research, you might find other things out there you didn't even know existed. Okay, so always be open to that. The other thing that we like to provide, in addition to a description of the jobs, where you could find training and where you could find these jobs, is the resource center that that highlights apprenticeships that are offered by our partners. So I don't know if any of you have heard of Cullum, but they offer quite a few apprenticeships in a variety of areas, as you can see. We've also got scholarships that are out there. And oh, well, look, we have the Think Big program from Blanchard right here in the middle of the page. You heard about that from Jason. So that can give you some opportunities. These are all the state-based scholarships, all sorts of things. Resources, teachers, if you're watching, these are some resources that you might be interested in, including a website review worksheet. So this would help you take your students through the website and just kind of get used to exploring, doing a little research, and learning a little bit about various skilled trades fields along the way. And then we do have some videos. Several of them are videos of visits that our mobile workshop has made to schools, and schools were so excited they put together a video for us. We also have a couple of PBS stories about various fields. So maintenance technician and diesel technician, they focus on a couple of companies in Arkansas, and they basically go through what it's like in a day in the life of, as it were. So these various tabs can be super useful. It's really important to do your research and never shy away from that. It's important to take the initiative. That's what all of these companies are looking for. They're not looking for a dozen advanced degrees and 10 extra years in school, they want to see enthusiasm, and they want to see initiative, and can you solve a problem, and are you going to show up to work, and are you ready to do this and ready to learn? And just like Doug said, from the Building Talent Foundation, always be learning. You don't know what you don't know yet. So walk into a job, say, yep, I'm here. I'm starting at the bottom because I don't know anything yet, but you teach me. And along the way, you're getting paid to learn all of this. And then you're going to find that there are amazing opportunities that you didn't know existed. It might take you into a completely different area, or you might find yourself being given a supervisor title. And now you have people working under you. You never expected that, but you're learning so much. And now you've got this experience at potentially a very young age that you have a lot of opportunity for growth. Also, don't be afraid of overtime. Okay. So some of these jobs, there is opportunity for overtime, and saying no, especially at a young age, is really the wrong way to go, because you could make a lot more money, and you're gonna earn a lot of respect from the supervisors, and you're gonna learn a lot in general. So really be ready to do that, and it will take you so far. Let's look at the schedule. I'm clicking on the blue bar at the top, because that'll always take you to the current schedule for our mobile workshop. And if you haven't seen it, you may still, depending on where you are sitting in the state right now. So today is the 19th. So we are at Edisto High School today. And then you can see that we're going to be moving around the state in Chester and Richburg, Camden, Lugoff, Mullins, and then we'll be in Myrtle Beach, that area for that week in May, and in Dorchester for another week in May. So just always be on the lookout for it. And teachers, if this thing kind of sounds interesting to you, and there is a video, there are multiple videos on the website, and I don't want to play them right this second necessarily for time's sake, but you can always check out the videos. And then at the very bottom of every page, you're going to see right here in the Get Involved section, you can book a tour stop. So if you would like to see the mobile workshop at your school, then book a tour stop and do that, so that we can get you on the schedule for next year. So I'm going to go to the About tab, and I'm going to go to the Get Involved section, because this is where Paige, I'm not sure of the time at this point. I think I might have a couple of minutes here, because I do want to, this is only like a 2-minute video. So I think you might be interested to watch this.
You definitely have time.
Y'all ready to roll?
Okay. Is there volume?
All right. South Carolina's Be Pro, Be Proud movement begins.
My volume's up
today.
as high as possible.
Good morning, and thanks for being here to help us launch it.
I believe everybody's going to be supercharged when they see this thing.
This is really cool.
You pull up on a high school anywhere in South Carolina and let them get an opportunity to walk through there, it's going to blow their mind.
I'm proud that the leadership of our state, both in business and government and academia and education and everywhere else, understands how this all fits together.
We see that the 4-alarm fire that we're facing right now is workforce development, and getting kids that are coming out of high school to really see the value in the skilled trades.
The goal is to make young people aware of the career paths that maybe in the past people didn't think of.
It's about workforce. It's about the citizens of South Carolina. It's about our young people having the opportunities to connect their skills and their interest with a job that will be a career for them, that will help them in their community to be productive citizens.
There are careers out there that they can make good livings and be proud of what they do.
There's a lot of kids out there that maybe don't want to go to a 4-year school, and that's okay.
The opportunity just to put their hands on, to touch the steering wheels, and see what driving a truck might feel like, and they got an opportunity to step in one of our lineman buckets and learn a little bit about the electrical utility trade and what that entails.
The welders in there, I mean, they're not actually going to be welding, but they're going to hear the sounds and they're going to see what happens. That's one example that they wouldn't get in a high school. They get to do that, and then also they see the salaries that go with that. That's what's really going to kick them.
At Sumter Utilities, we value our South Carolina colleges and universities. but we are obviously looking for young men and young women who may want to take an alternate route.
We want to make sure there's an outlet and an opportunity for them, and you can have a long-term successful career in any of these trades.
I went to school to be a preacher. You know, after 2 years, I realized that wasn't my life, but that foundation put me in a position to go into a technical school and getting a degree and coming out debt-free and actually start to apply my trades and learn a living just really quickly. Once mom and dad goes through here and says, whoa, I didn't know this was available, that's when the light bulb's going to go on and say, yeah, this is a great career for my son and daughter.
This is just a win-win for the state of South Carolina, and we could not be happier.
So that's the type of thing that you're going to see when the mobile workshop comes to your school. But just be ready to keep your mind open. You may think you're going to college, but if you think you're going to college, but you're not really sure what you want to do with it, then you might want to reconsider, maybe even just take a year off or something to be a little more intentional about how you spend those college dollars. Because as you can see, you know, getting your CDL to drive a truck or getting heavy equipment certification, that costs a little bit of money too, but you can get scholarships through the state. There are workforce scholarships through tech schools that you can do some of this stuff where your tuition is at least partially covered, if not all. These are in-demand fields. And also don't forget that all of the time that you spend in school, potentially at a four-year college, if you're getting a degree that you're not really sure what you're going to do with, that's also 4 years you could have been earning money at the same time. So really consider the opportunity costs involved with all of this, and at least maybe explore it. So I know that it had been mentioned earlier about the CTE centers, you know, so the career and technical education. Most of the school districts around the state have CTE centers in their district, and you can take a welding class, or you can learn how to work on small engine repair, or you can maybe try out robotics or learn how to bake. I mean, that's not one of the things that we cover on our mobile workshop, but there are a lot of trades that you could at least try while you're in high school to see if this is something that works for you, for your interests. So just really be ready to ask questions and do your homework now. Look this stuff up. It won't be handed to you, but if you do the legwork and learn about it, then the doors will open.
All right. Thank you so much, Suzanne. If anybody has any questions, we have about 1 more minute that we can answer any questions that you may have about Be Pro, Be Proud, or any of the careers that Suzanne has talked about today. Suzanne, I just want to thank you for all of that really useful information, and the truck looks amazing and looks like it could be a really cool immersive environment for these students to learn about those careers. So thank you so much for sharing today.
Absolutely. It's so much fun. So I hope it gets to go to every single school in the state. I'm sure it will. So.
Perfect. All right. Well, it looks like everyone was so excited, but no questions for this. So we're gonna go ahead and wrap up a little early right now, and we're gonna go on a quick break. And when we come back, we're gonna have our last session of the day, which is actually a session on tallow. So I have one of my coworkers joining us for that. So thanks so much again for joining, Suzanne. It was great.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for sticking around for the last session of the day today, excuse me, which is with Tallo. And I have one of my coworkers joining us today, Jordan, who is going to be talking about Tallo. Good morning, Jordan. Thanks so much for joining us.
Good morning, Paige. Thank you for having me.
All right. Well, we're going to let you in and share your screen.
All righty, so hopefully everyone can see my screen in my presentation, but I do want to go ahead and jump in and get started. So of course, welcome to Tallo, finding your future and using Tallo to connect. Just a little bit about me, like Paige mentioned, my name is Jordan Barrera. I'm an education account manager here at Tallo. It's just a fancy way of saying I get to work with educators and students across the nation to help utilize Tallo. So just a little bit about myself. I went to the University of Houston. I used to be an academic advisor actually for college students and helping them find their path in their educational journey, and then found my way to Tallo and continuing to help students and teachers just navigate their pathways. And those are my cute dogs. So today we will understand the importance of preparing for your future, learn about Tallo and how it works. So maybe you're in the process of signing up for Tallo, or you may have a profile already that maybe you're not utilizing it to its full potential. And then we're going to take the first steps towards building your digital portfolio and connecting to your future. So I have a little bit of a warm up. I have a few questions that I want to ask. So the directions are going to be, you'll think about the statements that I'm going to be putting on the screen on the slides and then how they relate to you. So when you read through them, kind of think about it and then state how much you agree or disagree with each statement by holding up the number of fingers that corresponds with your closest answer. So I won't be able to see you, but if you're in a group setting, you'll be able to see each other's answers or just play along by yourself just to kind of get a feel for where you're at. And third, and the most important instruction is to be honest with yourself. So we're all here to learn and just kind of be honest with yourself and answer appropriately to where you currently are. So I have a warm-up question. So this is your test question. I believe I would thrive in a zombie apocalypse. So on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being strongly disagree, 5 being strongly agree, hold up or think about how well you think you would thrive in a zombie apocalypse. And so I'll just give you a couple seconds just to think about that test question. And so I know personally I'm a good 1. There's just definitely no way, so just take me out. But maybe there's a few of you that you can do it. You can power through and make it to the end. So that was the fun little test question. Now moving into a little bit more professional. I feel comfortable when thinking about my future. So on a scale of 1 to 5, how comfortable are you about thinking about your future and where you are wanting to end up? Strongly disagree to strongly agree. Kind of think about that, see where you are in yourself. I'll give you a couple seconds for that one as well. And on it, again, be completely honest with yourself on where you think you're headed and how you feel. And then I know what I want to do after I graduate. So this is a loaded question, but again, on a scale of 1 to 5, how much do you agree with that statement? Obviously for me, I'll probably be a 5 since I'm where I want to be. But for those who are still questioning it, you may be a 2 or a 3, which is perfectly fine. Giving you a couple seconds just to kind of think about that. I know the steps I need to take to accomplish my goals. For where you want to go and where you want to end up, do you know what it takes to get there? Do you have an idea or a plan of action on how you want to get to where you want to be? Have you talked to your career counselors? Have you done your research? Have you started that process yet? Completely okay if you haven't, but just kind of give yourself on a scale of where you stand. Give you a couple seconds to think about that. I have a professional resume that I am proud of and could use today. So I'd probably be a 4 or a 5, depending on any edits that need to happen. But, you know, just starting out, it depends on if you've already started to create your resume and send them out to applications, or, you know, maybe you haven't started, which is perfectly fine. But do you have a professional resume that you are proud of and could use today? And this is probably the last question. I understand how to find financial aid opportunities and scholarships. Have you looked into that? Have you done your research on getting some support when going off to college? Have you started to look into that on a scale of 1 to 5? Do you agree with that statement? Oh, okay, I lied. I am confident that I can achieve my goals. Give you a couple of seconds. Hopefully everyone is closer to the 5 range, but if not, we can work through it, and Tallow is here to support. So that was the final question. So to debrief, everyone responded to the statements based off of their own experiences, talents, backgrounds, and identities. So not everyone may know where they plan to go or what they're looking into in their next steps, which is totally fine. So some of the responses may have been similar to others around you if you are in a group setting, while others resulted in division, and that is completely normal. You have plenty of time to figure that out, and there are still ways in which Tallow can benefit you in making those goals and setting those for yourself. Navigating the future can be very overwhelming and seem like a daunting task, and that is where Tallow comes in. So Tallow is designed to help students connect to opportunities and understand a path to their future, and that's where we are able to help connect and help you build your digital portfolio. So what is Tallow? So starting at the age of 13, students like yourself can create a digital portfolio on Tallow to showcase what you do and in and out of school. So any extracurricular activities that you have or any hobbies, those are something that you can display on Tallow. You could add clubs and sports and all your academic accomplishments. Those can all live in one concise place so that our partners are able to connect with you and share opportunities. So you can connect with opportunities based on your interests and future goals. So if you have a specific career path or next steps that you're interested in taking, any scholarships or internships, that's where you will be connected with those opportunities and those partners. And so why should you use Tallow? You are able to stay organized and show off all your best talents, any awards that you have, any coursework that you're proud of, maybe a specific project that you did. You can upload that and have partners view that. Match with scholarships and financial aid, which is powered through RedKite, which I will, when I jump into the student profile, I'll show that in a little bit more detail. But there's so many opportunities to connect and help build a plan financially for your next steps. And then get discovered. So instantly share your digital profile with our colleges and companies and get seen by the recruiters who are looking for their next generation of talent. And so opportunities for everyone. This is just a very small snippet of the opportunities that we have. An art scholarship, or we have student spotlights and different financial aid opportunities, like I mentioned. So this is a very small snippet. Internship at Lockheed Martin, which is one of our partners, which is really cool. It opens up quite a few doors. So the digital portfolio itself, so it can showcase what you have done in your life. So whether that's digital badges that you've earned through the specific company or partnership, extracurriculars and hobbies, memberships and accomplishments, your work experience, education, anything that you can think of that you think would stand out or allow yourself to stand out to different recruiters or different companies is something that you'd want to share in your digital portfolio. You can share your career interests, where you prefer to live or do your next steps. And if you plan, you can also share if you plan on going to a junior college or technical school, a university, or even just entering straight into the workforce. Those are all things that you can indicate on your digital portfolio. So some Tallo tips, best practices is to keep your future goals and plans section up to date. You're going to want to make sure that as you continue through your educational or workforce journey, you are updating your profile as you go. You review your profile every few months, like I said, to keep it up to date and make sure that we know where you're at and where you're headed so our partners can connect. And use the files section to upload any projects or letters of recommendations, and then apply to any opportunities that we have offered on Tallo, or in general. Using Tallo for financial aid, like I mentioned, we are powered. We have a partnership with Red Kite, so all of our opportunities, you'll be connected and the ability to be matched with specific scholarships and financial aid that you can then apply for. So Red Kite actually, you could potentially be matched with over $20 billion worth of financial aid, which is amazing, because I know first starting out trying to navigate that conversation can be really difficult, and it's really intuitive to have a space where you can connect and see what opportunities are specific to you and what you would be best matched for a specific opportunity or scholarship. So that is when like I said, when I jump into the student profile, we'll get a better view of that, or kind of where it is, where it's housed. You can search for jobs on Tallo, maybe internships or anything that you would be interested in the location of your choosing, and your career interests. So that is an option within Tallo. So we're going to put it all together and we're going to dive into the student profile side of everything so you can get a visual of everything that we've talked about so far. So I'm going to jump in. Hopefully with that, you can see the demo profile now instead of my slides. But we are on Dennis Tomlinson's profile. Now I will be transparent. This is a demo profile, so this is not a real student. But this is just a picture of what your profile could look like once you get signed up or once you start actually adding in your preferences. So over on the left-hand side, we do have a profile picture of your choosing, your name, some general information, and then about a little short bio section where you can even come in and create that on your own, where we even provide examples to get you started, because I know that can be kind of daunting in the beginning to kind of think about yourself. So we've gone ahead and provided some examples for you to just kind of get your brain working and get that short bio so it catches the attention of our partners. Diving into the actual profile section, the first top part is the future goals and plans area, where in the beginning you would have designated decided what career interests you're looking for, your location preferences, as well as next steps. So anything that you are planning for your future, this is where that would live, and you can always come in and edit it at any time, update that information as you move through your journey. And any updates that you want to make, maybe you got accepted to a specific college or you're planning on entering a specific workforce, that's where that would live. Scrolling through the profile, we have your digital badges section. This is one of my favorite sections where you are able to actually tap into the partners that have digital badge option. For example, we partner with an organization called HOSA, and all of their members have a digital badge that they go in and they request. They provide some information, maybe some documents that are required from HOSA, and then the badge will populate on your profile. And it's really neat once you start collecting them. They're all really cool looking on your profile. And then obviously that stands out to our colleges and partners as well. Memberships and extracurricular activities and hobbies. This is where all this would live. Maybe you're on the for example, VEX Robotics, that's where that would be. High school varsity soccer, you can plug that in. Your work experiences and responsibilities. So maybe in the beginning you don't have as much, but you could even put babysitting because that is a job in of itself. So this is something where you would update as you go, and any places that you've maybe had an internship or an externship, this is where that information would live. Any accomplishments, honor roll, your education, so where you're currently in at school, maybe your high school, and then once you continue moving, you would add in your maybe your 2-year or your institution. Any test scores that you're proud of, highlighted courses, maybe for specific career interests, this is where you would populate those courses that you've already taken, your languages, and your files section. So this is also another one of my favorites, is where you can upload a project or something that you're also proud of. One cool feature about the profile is that you can download your profile in a resume formatted document. So everything that you've provided on your profile can now be downloaded in either a PDF or Microsoft Word format. I do recommend in the beginning Microsoft Word, just so maybe you can go in and edit any formatting that you'd like. But for today, I'll go ahead and download it in a PDF so we can just get a visual. So when that question was about if you had a resume that you were proud of, you can, once your Tallo profile is complete and ready to go, this could be that resume that you use when you apply to certain opportunities. Again, you downloaded in Microsoft Word, you can go in and edit any formatting or change anything. But this takes away the hard part of figuring out what goes first, what order does it need to go in. So it's in reverse chronological order, very similar to a resume. So these all populate in here for you to print off or send on their way. Your profile, there are no lateral connections within Tallo, so you wouldn't be connecting with any students or anything like that, but you do have the option to share your profile with a mentor, which will give them the ability to view your profile as well as help with any editing or suggestions that they have for your profile. Or you could also create a link to then distribute to others within whoever you want to be able to view your profile and give view access only. You can also come in, once those have been created, you can view how many times it's been seen. You can also delete and it'll cease that access. So that is the student profile. You can appear as a community. You have the opportunities section. This is where all the opportunities live as far as like internships, or you can apply to different scholarships. This is where that information would, you can click in and apply for those different opportunities. And you can search specifically for what you're looking for. The dashboard, this is where students can come and kind of view all the things within Tallo. Like I said, this is the Red Kite. So this is where you could click in. It'll take you to the Red Kite website to where you could be matched, you're matched with different scholarships and opportunities like I mentioned. So you just click in, it'll take you to the Red Kite site like I mentioned, and it'll walk you through the process, and you can then search for different scholarships and opportunities. This down here is just the many organizations that we have partnered with that you can click into, view their profile, visit their website, see different opportunities that they may have available to you. And yeah, so the dashboard is really where you'll connect with the different companies and view, the different areas within Tallo. Your up in the right-hand corner, just your messages and your notifications. You'll be notified when your profile is viewed, but also when you are messaged by one of our partners or colleges. So that is the dive of our student profile. You can sign up if you haven't already by just visiting tallo.com to sign up and enter in some of your information to create your account. Typical name, email, password. We do recommend maybe not using your school email account, just because they may block the emails. You'll add in your school, your graduation year, what future plans, like I mentioned, your career interests in your colleges, where do you want to be, your location preferences, and then you're all set. And then you can continue moving through the process. It is free, like I said, for starting at the age of 13, and it's just a great place and a lot of benefits to be able to connect with so many different opportunities. And so if you have any questions, please reach out at teach@tallo.com. I am happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you so much, Jordan. That was great. And we hope that if you're not already on Tallo, you go and join Tallo today and create that profile for yourself.
Thanks, Paige.
All right. Well, we are going to be wrapping things up. That was our final session of the day. It has truly been a pleasure hosting all of you here, from our attending students in the classrooms and employers who took the time out of their busy schedules to share the importance of the industry here in South Carolina. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank everyone that has made this event possible. Thanks again to the session hosts and the participants for sharing their experience. And a special thanks to SC Future Makers. We thank you. We will be sending out a recording of this event and the resources from each session next week. So please keep a lookout for the information from Teach Tallo. On behalf of the SC Future Makers Initiative and Tallo, we thank you again for joining SC Days, the Trades. Thanks so much for joining.